Assassin's Creed has many different playable protagonists throughout the series, from Altair to Ezio to Cassandra to Eivor and most recently to Basim. But have you ever wondered what the best and worst thing about every protagonist is? I know I have. To start with, Altair can't swim, which sucks. But he was probably the most wise and humble man in the Assassin's Creed series. Eivor never became an assassin, but her character adds so much to the Assassin's Creed lore that you can't help but love her. All that and more today. This video is a compilation of my best Assassin's Creed shorts, including the best and worst things about Assassin's Creed, the darkest Assassin's Creed game we have ever got, why Yasuke could be the greatest Assassin's Creed character, and much more. Sit back, enjoy this compilation, and if you want to see more just like this, hit the subscribe button. The best thing about every Assassin's Creed character. Altair created double hidden blades and the hidden gun. Ezio is one of the best written characters of all time. Desmond was able to save the world in only 4 months. Connor can detach the hidden blade and use it as a knife. Edward was a master pirate and assassin. Shay has a cool Irish accent. Arno is one of the most agile assassins. Jacob and Evie have very different mission styles. Bayek was a force to be reckoned with. Cassandra wears a suit. Eivor takes drugs to go to a mystical land and gets high. Basim was dedicated to the creed. This is the best thing about every Assassin's Creed game. AC1, the deepest dive into the philosophy of the creeds that we have ever got. AC2 took everything great about AC1 gameplay and made it even better. Brotherhood continued Ezio's story and explored more themes that the series would later draw from. Revelations, the most epic conclusion to 2 of the greatest characters in gaming. AC3 had the best combat animations. Black Flag, a true pirate experience. Like for part 2. The worst thing about every Assassin's Creed game. AC1, you can't swim, which drove a 7-year-old me to insanity way too often. AC2, the bonfire of the vanity sequences ruins the pacing of the rest of the game. Brotherhood, you couldn't visit Monteriggioni in free roam. Revelations, the game was much shorter than previous titles. AC3, Corner could sometimes feel boring. Black Flag, if you don't like sailing, then you can't enjoy this game. Rogue, they didn't do enough with the Templar story, it just felt like being an assassin. Unity, the villain had no depth and was boring. Syndicate, not every conversation needs to have corny jokes. Origins, I hate sand. Oh, wait, that's for another video. Level caps on quests were way too high. Odyssey, bad level scaling to force you to pay for microtransactions. Valhalla, huge empty map and the story was 90% filler content. Mirage, terrible writing that didn't do Basim justice. This is the worst thing about every Assassin's Creed character. Altair has an American accent. Ezio doesn't give anyone a chance when it comes to the ladies. Desmond is a massive racist.
Hey, what's the matter you, Altair?
That's racist.
You're racist.
Connor gets too heated in some situations. Like, chill out, dude. Edward lost a great woman to greed. Shay misunderstood the creed and turned evil. Arno is too cocky and arrogant. Jacob is too childish to be trusted with a hidden blade. Evie doesn't keep an eye on Jacob. Bayek and Aya are the worst parents. Cassandra is too horny. Eivor isn't sneaky enough. Basim makes the others look bad by teleporting. The worst thing about every Assassin's Creed villain. Haytham Kenway didn't get more screen time. Crawford Starrick, mustache-twirling villain with no actual character depth. Demos, aka Evil Alexios, too OP. And also the game doesn't really do much to make me care about him. Charles Lee.
Give me Lee!
A good villain, but he really annoys me. Cesare Borgia. His anger blinds him to his inevitable downfall. Julius Caesar. His turn against Bayek could have been more fleshed out. Comment your favorite villain and like for part 2. This is the best thing about every Assassin's Creed villain. Al-Mualim, a father figure to Altair, which hits even harder when he goes bad. Cesare Borgia, the man's absolute disregard for peace and quiet, plus the heated rivalry between him and Ezio. Haytham Kenway, the most relatable villain because we really get to understand his motives for evil. Bartholomew Roberts, he's a bloody pirate wizard, innit? Crawford Starrick, The way bro has the mental capacity and temper of a 5-year-old. Like for part 2.
This is the best Assassin's Creed game we never got. No, it's not the Unity sequel, and no, it's not another game with Ezio or Connor. This game would have followed in the footsteps of Bayek's wife Aya, also known as Amunet. In this sequel to AC Origins, Amunet would have just established the Hidden Ones in ancient Rome. This would lead to later expansion of the Brotherhood throughout Europe. In this sequel, Amunet would discover many of Rome's political leaders to be members of the Order of Ancients. Amunet would task herself with dismantling the Order in Rome and later all of Italy. This sequel would bring back the option to renovate shops and buildings, as well as add a new feature similar to stocks. The more businesses you buy and renovate, the more money you make. But if the Order take control of the city, your stocks will lower. Combat would be an overhaul of the RPG mechanics, now adding back the counter ability. High and low profile would also be added back into the game for more player control and agency. Would you prefer this sequel to Assassin's Creed Origins or AC Odyssey? Follow for more AC content.
Here's why Yasuke is a great Assassin's Creed character. Sure, the bad people whose word I can't say on here are going to say that Yasuke is cultural appropriation and not in line with real history. But what if I told you something that will change your entire perception of him forever? Yasuke will indeed be a great character in Assassin's Creed Shadows and potentially all of gaming due to one simple reason. And that reason is, Yasuke's story will depict an outsider who undergoes oppression and seeks the liberty of the everyday people of Japan. Being oppressed and fighting for freedom are the exact narrative themes that the Assassin's Creed series is built on. But Yasuke is historically incorrect because he was never a real samurai and only a sword bearer. Well, if you played Assassin's Creed at all, then you would know that the world is built around the true history of things being covered up and changed over time. Also, inspired by historical events and characters, this work of fiction was designed, developed and produced by a multicultural team of various beliefs, orientations and gender identities. Case closed, go cry more, you absolute lemons!
Did you know the darkest Assassin's Creed game was actually cancelled? It was called Assassin's Creed Victory. This cancelled Assassin's Creed game was truly shaping up to be the closest thing to an AC horror game we have ever received. This dark and sinister Assassin's Creed game was leaked in 2014, just after the release of AC Unity. This evil take on an Assassin's Creed game would have followed the protagonist Samuel Fay. Assassin's Creed Victory would have also been set in Victorian London, but this time showing the true horrors of the time period. Samuel Fay would have been a true assassin, a man who was psychologically scarred, similar to Bayek. Eventually, Ubisoft decided to throw this idea in the trash and made Assassin's Creed Syndicate instead, now following the Fry twins in an attempt to make a comedy Assassin's Creed game. Here's the big question: would AC Victory have been better, or was what we got with AC Syndicate the best outcome? Follow for more Assassin's Creed content!
This is how every protagonist was game-ended in Assassin's Creed. Altair endured a tragic life, losing his parents early and later his son and wife. He reformed the Brotherhood and passed peacefully at 92, sealing the Apple of Eden in his library. Ezio witnessed his family's game end at 17, but lived a fulfilling life, marrying and having children. He passed peacefully on a bench in Florence. Connor had a mixed upbringing with a Native American mother and a British Templar father. His fate is debated, but it's suggested he led a happy family life, raising an assassin daughter. Haytham Kenway, Connor's father and a Templar, who was eventually game-ended by Connor in a physical and mental clash of ideologies. Desmond, ancestor of many beloved assassins, sacrificed himself in 2012 to save the world from a solar flare. Like for part 2. This is how every protagonist was game-ended in Assassin's Creed. Aveline de Grand Prix, a mixed-race assassin in 18th century New Orleans. Her end is unknown, likely old age. Edward Kenway, a pirate-turned-assassin, game-ended by Templar agents in 1735 whilst defending his family. A tragic end to a legendary icon. J. Patrick Cormac, once an assassin turned Templar, likely game-ended of old age after training his descendants, but I like to think Arno did him in. Arno Dorian, raised by his assassin father, his fate is unknown, but it's hinted he may have lived peacefully after leaving the Brotherhood. Bro did get mad depressed though. This is how every protagonist was game-ended in Assassin's Creed. Jacob and Evie Fry, sibling assassins in Victorian London. Jacob Caleb was severely injured but survived till 1914. Evie moved to India to be with Henry Green, and their exact game ends are unknown. Bayek, an Egyptian Magi turned assassin, likely passed of natural causes, as his and Aya's mummies hint at a peaceful end. Cassandra lived for over 2,400 years due to the staff of Hermes, passing it to Layla Hassan and forfeiting her immortality. I guess she just went and crawled into a hole or something. Eivor, a Viking who settled in Vinland after his journey across England and passed of old age. Basim, the reincarnation of Loki who was kept alive until the modern day by the Life Tree. He is now immortal due to possessing the staff of Hermes. Follow for more Assassin's Creed content. Assassin's Creed 3 was almost a very different game. Pre-alpha footage for AC3 shows what the game could have been. Parkour and animations look better. Connor's outfit looks more military focused than the final design. Haytham looks completely different. The world feels more immersive. Combat uses the environment a lot more than the final game did. And there are way more weapon options. This is a concept trailer Ubisoft made for the game before it hit development and is in no way an in-engine footage. But do you think this game looks better than what Assassin's Creed 3 turned out to be? Follow for more AC content.